Hi, this is Mike Peterson with Challenge Island, Oakland County East, back with Steamtastic Friday. We're wrapping up our summer series here at Challenge Island, and so today we'll talk about the M in summer, which stands for math. And today the M is also going to stand for multiplying. So we'll see how we can use multiplication to figure out some cool things going on during the summer. So in particular, the challenge we're going to take on today is if you take a look at a swimming pool and try to figure out, I wonder how much water is in there. I wonder how many gallons of water go in there. We'll show you a way to figure that out today. So first, just to get a feel for how that works. So here's about what 1 gallon looks like. So you may have a gallon of milk in your refrigerator or a gallon of water downstairs. So here's a gallon. So looking at that and comparing that to a whole swimming pool, that's kind of hard to guess how many of these would fit into a swimming pool. So let's take it one step at a time and see how we can figure that out. So the first fact we can take a look at is if we took a 7.5 of those gallons, so 7.5 of these containers, and poured them into a box, that box would be what we call a cubic foot. So that's a fancy word for a cube or a box, a 3D box, that's 1 foot tall on every side. So this box here, for example, is about a cubic foot. So it's about 12 inches high here. In fact, I've got my ruler here with 12 inches on it, so it's just a little short, but pretty close, about 12 inches this way. So if we had a cube about this size, we could pour 7.5 of these into there. So now that we know that, we can use that multiplication fact to pretty much figure out for any big box, how many gallons would we have to pour into it. So for example, say we took this box here. So if I measure this box, let's see how big this one is. So it's about 1 foot tall. If I measure it on this side, this way, it's about 1 foot. If I measure it the long ways, a little longer, you can see it goes about halfway across there, so it's about 2 feet. So if I take those numbers and multiply them together, so 1 times 2, that would be 2 cubic feet. So once I know that, I can multiply that by my 7.5 for how many gallons are going to go in there. So if I take 2 times 7.5, the half gets a little tricky, so let's do it one piece at a time. So we can break that into 2 times 7, which is 14, and 2 times a half. So if I've got 2 halves, like 2 halves of a pizza, that's 1 whole pizza. So I just add 1 more onto that. So that means I would need about 15 gallons to fill up this box. So that's kind of interesting. I wouldn't have guessed it took that many. So let's try one more. Let's say we had an actual swimming pool, now that we know how to do this. So let's say we had a pool, let's say it's about 5 feet deep, about 20 feet wide, and 30 feet long. So now that's a really big box. So we're going to need to do some multiplying to estimate that one. So if we try that, so again, we've got to multiply all those numbers together. So we got 5 times 20, so that makes 100. We have 100 times 30, so that makes 3,000. So that means we have 3,000 cubic feet. So we could fit 3,000 of these boxes inside that pool. So now if we want to turn it back into gallons, we take that 3,000 times our 7.5. So if we want to break that apart again to make it a little easier, we'd have 3,000 times 7, that's 21,000. And 3,000 times a half would be 1,500. So if we put all that together, that means it would take about 22,500 of these to fill up that pool. So if you've ever seen somebody fill up a pool, that's why it takes a while. There's a lot of gallons that go into it. So next time you're taking a look at a swimming pool or your house or something fun that's a huge box, see if you can give that a try. See if you can figure out how many gallons of water would it take to fill that up. Okay, with that, thank you very much, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.